Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Marianne. Welcome to your June readings. I am pumping them out, and I finished Leo's reading yesterday. I'm going around the zodiac. I normally start with Aries, end with Pisces, but I did start with Pisces this month because last month the technology end of things was really affected by the Mercury retrograde, and it still continues to be. We are still in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, and the video I did for Leo yesterday, I videotaped it mid-afternoon, and I was able to actually get it completely uploaded around 10 this morning. So that's where I'm at. I normally just do one reading or so a day anyway. It works for me, and it's part of me being able to work and juggle it with my work life outside of my sacred space here. But I do want to say that today's featured sign I'll read for is the beautiful earth element of Virgo. The Mercury ruled, got to really enunciate the R, sign, as is Gemini, and we're in the Gemini season. So you can imagine that Virgo, I'm sure you had a little bit more of energy hit, a recognition of the Mercury retrograde, because it does tend to slow things down mentally, transportation wise, which would be a physical aspect of it, and then definitely technology, like I said. Now, you are definitely Mercury ruled, but you're also a very, well, it goes with the sign, the planet of Mercury, you're a very intelligent sign, Virgo, and you really appreciate the mind and the intellect, and to expand it and to grow. Very similar to the earth, you're the earth element, but very similar to air, in that you are really always trying to advance and evolve and to grow, and you are a mutable sign. Unlike the fixed sign of Taurus, the other earth energy, or the cardinal of Capricorn earth energies, and element. But what's cool is that I think your sole purpose, and certainly your archetype, is that of service, because I have found on a personal level that I've read and studied for all these years that Virgo is wanting to better themselves, absolutely, in the attempt to help others. They excel in whatever they do. There's deep amounts of concentration and steadfast energy with the grounded energy, the practical side that Virgos and all earth signs have. And they want to help others. They are incredibly organized. They're very detailed. They are the planners of the zodiac. If you work in an office with a Virgo, they're usually the go-to person, I can promise you. Or they're owning the office, because they're very good at managing a business, and anything that involves, pretty much anything. They will work extremely hard and tirelessly for the production and the results that they're wanting to achieve. And there is a more somber, I would say serious energy for the most part. This is a general reading, and there are so many different personal planets that might attribute to being maybe more outgoing, such as Leo, or the fire signs. Definitely, I would say the air signs, if you have a lot of those in your personal chart. But for the most part, they're okay with being behind the scenes. Okay, they're okay with being, just matter of fact. Kind of, this is how it should be. I'm not saying they don't have a sense of humor and they're not fun, because they absolutely are. I've known so many in my life now that I love a good laugh with them. And they're not fixed, like I said, so they're not totally stubborn and set in their ideals and their belief systems. However, they will be a good debater, I can promise you. Coming from one debater to another, I'm a Libra, and we're kind of known for that too, just for no reason, just to stimulate the mind, right? So anyway, I love the depth of Virgos. I love the loyalty. I love the natural kind of earnest authenticity that I feel with most Virgos I've ever met. You know, they tend to be a little more on the natural side of all things. They prefer natural medicine per se, foods coming out of their garden that they've planted and they've cooked themselves. From maybe less makeup a lot of times I've seen, and just, yeah, bare bone, you know, earth associated kind of beautiful energies. So yeah, for you, Virgo, I feel like this month, and for a lot of us, okay, there's some very important energies that are happening in the planetary astrology end of things. And I do incorporate that in my readings a smidgen, because I'm an aspiring astrologist that is fascinated with, the more I delve into it, the more it just is remarkably accurate as to what's happening in real time in the world. Or that you can look back at a certain, you know, time or, you know, cycle in your life that was very comparable with the same kind of energies. Not exact, of course, there's always going to be differences in some respect. Although there have been a couple of cycles for me that it actually was exact from 1 year to a few years later. I thought, well, that's just crazy. And that spurs my interest. So you can see where I'm going, right, with that. That's what I love about astrology. So for you, Virgo, the reality is that, well, we had the moon in your sign the first couple of days of this week, and we're on the 9th of June right now. Like I said, I'm a little behind even for the one a day, but I'll get them all out. Whenever you watch this, it's perfect. And the fact that, yeah, I mean, I'm so sorry, I'm just kind of losing my thoughts as I'm talking. A lot of information coming in here. Whenever you watch is fine. There's no linear time, as I always say, with the energies and the messages that come through. Bottom line. So what I do as part of my reading is I will read 4 tarot cards representing each week of the month. And, you know, there are obviously messages of guidance and, you know, possibilities of what can happen and, you know, support and this and that. But what you choose to do with it and what you believe is, of course, complete freedom of choice. And it differs from person to person. You may resonate instantly with the messages, you may not. But I do recommend, and this is what I wanted to say, that you definitely watch your sun, moon, ascendant readings, you know, if they're different than Virgo. It's kind of rare. I mean, you could have a sun, moon, and rising in Virgo, but it's definitely rare, but it exists. And then you get a really much more layered, you know, understanding of who you are. And I find a lot of times your ascendant can be a lot more accurate. And I always went for the sun. I'm just one of those people. That's what you learn when you're first learning astrology, like I did for compatibility interests many, like 40 plus years ago and more. So yeah, I'm digressing a bit, but the point is that there's a lot to be learned about you, and in learning about yourself, you're able to understand others. It just kind of goes hand in hand. So let me pick your love connection, which is another thing that Spirit always wants me to do right in front of you. This is never planned or scripted, obviously. It's all from my heart. And the messages that do come through and the downloads that come through from me, which I'm always excited and love so much about spirituality and metaphysics combined, like with astrology and the science. It's a beautiful, exciting part of life. So your love connection in all forms now, this is a person, an actual energy, well-known relationship, or one that it could be completely new coming in for the month of June and perhaps longer, is that of Sagittarius. So you're the second person that's gotten Sagittarius. The other sign that got Sagittarius was Gemini. And that is actually Gemini's polar opposition. And of course, we're in the season of Gemini, and we will be through the 20th of June, I almost said May, and when it then goes into Cancer season. But we'll get back to that. So Sagittarius is pretty exciting, and I get it right off the bat that you would be picking up on this energy if it isn't a person, because we have the full moon in Sagittarius on the 14th next week, which I believe is a Wednesday. maybe Tuesday, I believe it's Tuesday. It's coming up really quickly, and it's beautiful, and it's a super moon, and it's called the Strawberry Moon. And it is about truth. It is about Jupiter ruled Sagittarius enthusiasm and optimism of what we want to do in our life and how we want to get there, and pointing that bow and arrow that represents the Sagittarian, and just really focusing on, you know, our dreams. And you're great at focusing and just making that plan, figuring out the details, and then going for it. Now, we had Jupiter, also the ruling planet, you know, as I mentioned, of Sagittarius, go into the sign of Aries on the 10th of May. So it's legitimately a full month that it's been in Aries as of tomorrow. And not to mention that then, possibly 2 weeks ago now, I think it was, Mars went into Aries, which will be there through July 5th. The power, the spirit, the enthusiasm, the drive, the leadership, the masculine, you know, forceful kind of, we're making this happen. This is really, by hook or by crook, I will get to where I need to go. I will do what I need to do. I will meet this person. I will express myself fully, whatever the case may be, is in full force. And that is the fellow sign of Sagittarius. So there you have, not only is Aries energy happening for all of us for a year, basically, because it'll be in the sign of Aries, Jupiter, till next May 16th, until it dips out for a couple months between October and December, back into Pisces, which is also excellent for you. But this enthusiastic, you know, truth-seeking, you know, adventure, fun time, you know, travel for the full moon, which puts a light on all these topics, is really revving up you. I know it is. I think it's revving us all up. And it's pretty natural during this month, as I've said, of June. You know, school gets out. Even if your children have been long gone and out of the picture, it's about you now. And I know for a fact, Virgos that are already planning and leaving this weekend, I love it. I think we all have to have that in our lives to a certain extent, whether it's just a small little day away from your city, going to the beach, whatever it is. It's going to fill you up and just bring back the optimism that we all want and need so very much. So that's why I feel, if for no other reason, if it isn't a Sagittarius you're already involved with, which is very much a possibility, whether it be a friend or, you know, a family member, whatever it is, this Sagittarius energy is full-blown, going to last a while. The full moons do, and the energies within. Not to mention, we're still feeling the effects of the powerful eclipse season of last month in the latter part of April, which was April 30th, with the new moon in Taurus, and then the full moon eclipse in Scorpio, on the 15th of May. Just big, powerful truth, transformational, rising from the ashes, starting up again, new beginnings, releasing, fresh starts. I mean, sexuality, other people's money, other, you know, possibilities with taxes and inheritances and unexpected windfalls and this type of thing. It's all one mixed bag, and it's been a lot. So we still kind of have that energy, and it's one of pretty much, it's intense, but it's also excitable, and it's a lot of things. That's going to die down somewhat, thank goodness, in the month of June. And June is the 6th month, so there is that Venetian, it's the number of Venus. And we have, like I said, the Mars and Jupiter aspect in Aries is automatically conjuncted and affecting the planet of, not the planet, but the sign of Libra, and Venus, ruled by Libra, which rules Libra. So yeah, the balance, the love, the relationship, the beauty, the need to kind of change our look somehow, to redesign our homes or environments is pretty prominent. And it only becomes more so when we enter into Cancer season, because Cancer is about the home and the family and the love of, you know, nurturing and caring and being around their families more, which is what vacations are about. So it's all perfect, you know. And so, yeah, having a good time is really, I think, the key component, and having the energy and the resources and the drive and the inspiration to do so. Getting away from the office, Virgo, I know it's not easy, but once you do it, it's like riding a bike, right? So I'll put that over there. And what I'm doing this month, and I had done, I think, one other time, is pick the tarot deck divination and the oracles right before you in accordance to each sign, as opposed to just one, for the month. And I'll be honest with you, coming in the room, I had this intuitive hit for you, beautiful Virgos, and I thought directly of, for the tarot divination, the OK Tarot deck. Now, it's pink, which I love, and I can see the box has faded quite a bit from the sun coming in. But it's a simplistic deck, and you can be very simplistic and very, like I said, straightforward and just very authentic. You're not really interested in embellishing things and all that. What you see is what you get with you, which is a beautiful quality as far as I'm concerned. And so that's what I love about these cards. They're about as simple as you can get, this deck. And then as far as the oracle, I will definitely finish with the rune because I am studying and wanting to learn and memorize them, each and every one of them, which will take some time, but as time goes on, it will happen. And so I've got my flashcards to help, and I pick one from my beautiful velveteen bag. But the other guidance that I'd like to pick for you that seems to be calling to me is going to be, where are you? Where are you? Okay, yeah. It's going to be, and I used it one other time, but it is the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle cards. I love the name in itself. It's just something that I think we could all learn and aspire to, keeping that peace. I would say that being away and in nature and having time away from, more serious work type of environment, which is really what you're about, is going to automatically create that kind of peace in you. But I will pick the 4 weeks, as I said. So the first week has basically happened, and I kind of like that in a way, because then it can show whether or not it actually was that feeling for you, or the energies that came through, if it's resonating, as I said. And the first week for you, and the message is the Two of Pentacles. Okay, well, there you are. There is your element of earth. So it's either the pentacles or the coins. And the two for me is about balance. And there's that energy coming through with the Libra I mentioned, straight up. Balance in your resources, in your family life, in your work versus play life. You've got that together. You have already planned this. You know exactly what's coming in, what's going out. You feel at peace with this. And it could also have to do with partnership, as I mentioned. Someone else having something to do with the money, maybe offering you or, aiding in your finances in some way, or you, in fact, aiding in someone else's in this picture in some regard. If you're on a vacation, you may be paying for some of the dinners and just like pitching in and just splurging, if you will. But I like that, and I think it makes sense from everything that's just been said, coming through from Spirit itself, and the joyous aspect of, keeping things balanced. That helps everybody's life, and having fun at the same time with the beautiful Sagittarian energy that I think, even though it hasn't happened, I still feel like it's already being felt for those that are quite perceptive. And I do find that a lot of you Virgos are very, very intuitive. I've found this to be true for the people that I have known throughout my life. So we all have that gift, and some just have it because they choose to have it more, or they've just honed it, or they've worked towards it in ways that, there's so many different ways you can. But I like that, like I said, that brings me a sense of peace for you, because it is about the balance, and it's about money. So that's always a good feeling, right? Now, the second week is coming up, and it will be involving that beautiful full moon in Sagittarius, which your energy automatically picked up on. You also could have Sagittarius in your personal chart, it's very possible. We actually have, in our natal charts, we have all the different houses. Every single sign of the zodiac is in those homes, or those houses. that represent a different part of our life, and you know, the energies that exudes: family, work, love, you know, travel, everything mentioned. So that can be something to look into as well. But the second week is going to be powerful, and I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful and very positive on many levels. And the only thing that might be a little more disruptive in some ways, certainly doesn't have to be, especially if you're forewarned, is that we have I want to say square, I'm hoping I'm correct about that, still learning, a square to the planet Neptune. And a square is always going to be a little more challenging versus a trine. A trine kind of even sounds to me like it's just more mellow and easy going, and there's a more harmonious energy with it. But the square in Neptune is simply that Neptune is the planet that is the undergod, the world, the god of the underworld. Forgive me. And it is about the fogginess and the uncertainty and the fantasy versus reality kind of energy, the rose-colored glasses, you know, appropriate for this beautiful pink deck. Just maybe seeing things as better than they are, and who doesn't do that on a vacation? Like, oh, this is the life. Oh, I wish I lived this way all the time. Well, naturally, if we lived that way all the time, it wouldn't have such a special feeling to it anymore, right? It would just become the norm, and then the norm is not as anywhere near as fun. So that's just an example. So that may affect you. I don't see it affecting many of us. And maybe if you have more water element personal planets in the sign of water, because Neptune represents water as well. Maybe something's happening where you're going near water. Maybe you, you know, you have something happening in your home that would be affiliated with water, especially during water sun seasons like Cancer coming up. There could be situations that come up. But we're keeping this positive, okay? Like if there's a leak or something around the house, you want to watch it because that could add up financially for you. Little things like that if you're a homeowner, and if not, get that landlord in there for yourself. Second week though, let's see what's happening here. Oh, couldn't be more perfect. The 8 of Wands, and the Wands are the fire sign. The Wands are the magic. They're the movement. They're the physicality, the spirit, the gumption, the energy. Spitfire, you know, and it's fast. It's really fast. So there's information that's coming through. You may hear it while you're away. You may hear it when you get back. But it will be lit up by the Sagittarian fire sign, you know, moon. And I think it's going to be beautiful. It's information, you know, you love that. You love and you thrive on that. And if it's something to do with, I would imagine a lot of times the practical part, not the coins, it's the fire, but it has to do with what you're doing in your life, you know. And how you're getting there, and things of that nature. And it's, like I said, it's fast, but it's exciting, and there's a lot of information that may have been held back with this Mercury retrograde, for heaven's sakes. It's all, the momentum is building, and the actual finale and finish of the shadow aspect of Mercury retrograde is on the 19th. So certainly things are progressing now. They will absolutely be by that time. And then the new moon, which is on the 28th in Cancer, well, that's all about beginnings again, and that's about our heart center and really feeling passionate and emotional in regards to that in beautiful possible ways, because the emotion is what brings things to life. Okay, the passion is what really finalizes our dreams and our manifestations. It's just the law of attraction. It's the reality of it. So you want to bring that to the forefront. I love it. Okay, so that's beautiful. Third week, in between this full moon and then it'll be the summer solstice, you know, the longest day of the year, the starting of Cancer season the next day, and, you know, summer and full-fledged, you know, beautiful season of summer, heat coming on, you know, in all aspects. And you have the Knight of Cups. Well, there you go. There's that Cancer. This is very perfect today. Very synchronistic with everything. And, well, the Knight is the messenger. So the messenger has something to say about the heart and about emotions and about love and about friendships and about connections and partnerships and all the beautiful things. Just feeling grateful, I would imagine. Feeling creative. feeling like things are working out the way you would like them to. And we don't always feel that way, but we want those feelings, and it's showing me that that's coming your way. Okay, so congratulations on that. It could probably already be happening. It's just going to be more fulfilling, and you'll be feeling it even more. And I know as I'm sitting here, the effects of Aries with the Libra aspect of relationships it's so powerful, but it can be so incredibly remarkable. I mean, just in ways that you maybe reach an epiphany with somebody, or you have a conversation that sparks this idea or this revelation that you just wouldn't have imagined. You may have heard it from somebody, you may hear it through a commercial, you may hear it on the radio, you may hear it in music, through a dream. It's just this bam, there it is, and I love those. I don't know if you've had that more recently. I think I did actually about a week ago. I did. Okay, and I'll tell you what it was. I'm a Reiki master practitioner, and I used it all the time in my practice as a massage therapist. And then since I've started this private practice that I had and I took over in 2018, I did not incorporate that for some reason. I didn't put it on as part of the, a treatment you could get. And I was sitting there meditating, and I was just quiet, and all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I want to add, particularly at this time in life, the ability to come in and get some Reiki and some healing energy from the natural energy that Reiki incur. And there's a lot to it. You can look it up, but I love it. I've been using it on myself for years. I do distant healing basically daily. And I thought, wow, well, it doesn't even matter. There's been a lot that's happened in my life, and what matters is that I'm wanting to incorporate it now. That was an epiphany. That came from my heart. That let me know Spirit was working with me and co-creating with me, because it's something I've been doing and have within me, and just reminding me, okay, and those are the beautiful things that can happen with this cup kind of energy. It is always, a lot of times I should say, about love, but it's also about self-understanding and self-love and happiness, in that regard, self-acceptance and so forth. The final week is, like I said, the new moon, and that's all about writing those intentions down and truly instigating the life that you want. Okay, we have that capability, and I don't mean it happens overnight. Sometimes it miraculously can. But those overnight, success stories are usually people that have been working for decades, and then it's their time. Like the Wheel of Fortune, the time has come. We all have our day in the sunshine. And that's what I'm feeling. And so, create that. You're great at that. The time off you may take will give you another way to build up the energy to allow it and to bring it in. So for the final week and the new one, you've got oh my gosh, the 6 of Pentacles. Well, isn't that beautiful? There's that balance again. The 6 of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite-Smith depiction is of a man giving to less fortunate, let's say, people in need. And then in doing that gesture, which is always from the heart, it automatically comes back to you and is reciprocated. Whether you're asking it for that or not, it is absolutely the law of attraction. But I feel like it's what I had mentioned from the very beginning with the 2 of Pentacles, just keeping the balance, but also, when you give, you do receive. So you may be making sure you're not being crazy, but that you're allowing for a time when you're away from work or vacationing and you're with friends, that you just put out a little more. And then, of course, it inevitably comes back. And here it's kind of confirming that, which is beautiful. I love it. And so, 6 Pentacles plus the 2 is 8. And that's a majorly powerful energy in numerology. So there you go. Just keeping it real and knowing that what you give, you do receive. You really, really do. And it doesn't necessarily happen that moment, but it happens in ways that you don't necessarily even imagine. And I've seen that time and time again in my own personal life. And it's a beautiful, gorgeous part of life. And I like to focus on those as much as possible. So what a beautiful reading for you, Virgo. And you've got 2 cards representing the Pentacles, which is you and being in your energy and your caring, loving, giving self. You've got the 8. There's another 8 because the 6 and the 2, but the 8 of Wands about power and the absolute energy that's working in your favor with the full moon in Sagittarius, but also Aries, Jupiter and Aries, because that's really giving us all the strength and momentum and leadership quality that may have been held back somehow. Not anymore. So let me then read your beautiful Unshaken Inner Peace Oracle card, specifically for you for the month of June, no matter when you're watching this reading, okay? It is, it's important to know that there's no, you're not late to the party, okay? And there's always a party. And speaking of which, hopefully, if you have a Gemini friend that you can go and celebrate their beautiful solar return, as we are still, like I said, in the sign of Gemini. I have 2 friends that's birthdays are today. Happy birthday to you. You know who you are. And, an incredible year ahead. So for you, I'm keeping the book out, but your Unshakable Peace card reads, it's number 26. Well, there's another 8. So here we go. This is what I'm talking about, and I love spirit for this. This is the synchronistic aspect. 8 is in your energy field. 8 is super important for manifestation and prosperity and abundance and that type of mindset and energy field. So you have soul alignment. It's a good time for a radical change. Soul alignment. That's the card. It's a good time for radical change. Wow. Well, maybe that's because you're going away and you're taking that time for yourself. Or like I said, it could be something you want to do with your hair, your body, start a new exercise regimen, something that's super important, healthy, and reasonable for yourself, right? Not overreaching or anything of that nature, but I'm looking at this card and the illustrations are pretty phenomenal. But I'll finish reading and show you. How can you show up for yourself in ways that you never have before? That's right, Virgo. You. I'm talking about you, not all the things you do for other people. You. So look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? When you do these things, when this, beautiful information and, support and guidance from the universe put in the form of a oracle divination is brought to you, it's to lovingly nudge and remind you the importance of this. And this brings that balance and that beautification of life, just understanding of what really is possible and available to us. And yeah, doing what you need to do to make that radical change. And that's a personal thing. I don't know what that is for you, but I love it. I think it's great. I'm going to finish with the oracle message of the rune. And I'm going to pick this. Wait, let me just go in here if I may, though. I knew I was holding this for a reason. Let me read a little further, just to kind of confirm what the message is, so I don't have to you don't have to take it solely from me. And sometimes the wording is far better than I can, express to you. So I like to utilize that as well. Here it is. Do you want to experience something better for yourself and your loved ones? Are you craving more freedom, joy, vitality, and abundance? Well, you've got the 8. That's what the 8 is about. Abundance. And there's that word coming in. Not a coincidence, okay? Now is the time to go for it. There's a new beginning for you as your soul is aligning. You may have tried to push forward in the past, but it didn't work out as planned. Perhaps guilt, shame, and self-sabotage set in. But this is a reminder that every day we are changing and growing, and what you needed then is not what you need now. You have learned your lessons, and the stars have now aligned for you to move toward your deepest desires. If you feel hesitant, your past may be influencing your current reality. If it didn't work out before, this doesn't mean that you failed. It simply means it wasn't the right time. We know about timing. And you know, I didn't mention it, but Saturn went retrograde for, through October 22nd. It does it every year. And it happened last Saturday. So there's a heavier influence with Saturn. It is the well-known planet of time and the value of time and how timing is, I know you've heard the saying probably a million times, timing's everything. And sometimes we plan it like you would do, Virgo, and sometimes it's absolutely out of your hands and it's just what is and what needs to be. And like I said, when your time is there, you know it for the best things to finally culminate and the changes that need to be made come to pass. If you feel hesitant, yeah. Well, let's see. If you had things to learn, so that's why it wasn't the right time. You've drawn this card as a reminder that today is not yesterday and it's time to start fresh. Okay, and that's the beauty. That is one of the most beautiful things that I love about life, is no matter what you've done and what you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, you can start over again. As long as you're getting up in the morning and with a beautiful attitude of thank you for this new day, you know. I would say now, because I learned it when I was very young, thank you for the world so sweet, thank you for the food we eat, thank you for the birds that sing, thank you God for everything. And that's been coming back to me. Literally, I learned that when I was 7 or 8, but it certainly works now as well. And I mean every moment and every second of that saying. And yeah, it's time for your fresh start. So bring it, right? Bring it. Love that oracle. So let me pick your rune in finishing your reading today. Wanting to thank you for stopping in, as always. And if you are still watching and you have been watching, I love that you are. I really appreciate your support. I come in here because it means a great deal to me. And if I can share anything that helps you in any way, the slightest, and uplifts you and makes you realize you got to keep moving, you know, things, this too shall pass. And we all go through challenges and, you know, hard times, but we can get through them, and we can get through them together. And so I'd like to be that inspiration for you always. You inspire me to want to be that for you. But do like and subscribe and share. And YouTube will be really great because it'll allow me to continue doing my content. And that means a lot to me. So I appreciate it very, very much. Your rune that I haven't memorized, but I want to say it's an M. And I don't know exactly why, but I'm hoping my memory is actually better than I imagined, because it was a little stifled this last month. It looks like a bow. Let's see if I'm right. I think it didn't come up too long ago, and eventually, you know, it'll all get to the point where like with the tarot, I memorized those from a long time ago, but at first it seemed very daunting. So let's see if we can find that. Here it is. The letter that I believe is M. Oh, darn it. Incorrectamundo. So now, having said that, that could be a way to associate and remember. It's not an M, Marianne, when I say this, because I said that so profoundly. It's a D. Hard to tell. It is really a lot about memorizing, and that's good too. It's good for the mind. It is the word and the pronunciation. Well, it's interesting because it says pronunciation Thagaz, Thagaz, and it's with a D, Dagaz, but I guess you don't pronounce the D. Whew, Thagaz. Rune 24, which is a 6. We're in a 6th month. 6 is about balance. 6 is about the Libra, you know, the Venetian beauty and love and magic and starting fresh, you know, maybe in our looks and something we want to do and how we view ourselves and the world. Keywords. Oh no, the theme is transformation. Day in parentheses. Keywords: polarity, reversal, yin-yang, counterbalance, enlightenment, and change comes into the picture yet again. So, you know, when you hear it more than once, there's a real indication that Spirit has a specific message for you, Virgo. The magical working is reversing energy, balancing forces. There's that balancing thing. It's huge. Bring about change, self-transformation. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's important. Yeah. The key phrase is as different as night and day, dawning of a new day. The caterpillar becomes the butterfly. I love that analogy. Opposing sides in balance. Self-transformation and growth, changing one's point of view. So great to be open to doing that and not feeling so set that you don't want to budge in the possibilities, because I've had to do a lot of that. I was very surprised. I didn't realize I was so set in a lot of things, and it was only because of what I had grown up hearing. It wasn't really my belief. And so for me, it was like, okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely more than one way to, you know, skin a potato, right? It's just like, it's that openness. But, you know, switching sides, major life changes. There you go. So there's two very important oracle messages about transformation and time to make a radical change. So I guess that pretty much says it all. I hope you know exactly what this means, or you're going to be finding out in the most beautiful ways, and you're extremely excited and happy about it. Change can be so beautiful and so important to, you know, for the rest of our lives. So I hope it's beautiful. I hope you have a wonderful, healthy, fun, love-filled June. And come on back for July readings. I will be here for you, okay? Until next time, take good care. Bye for now.